Here's a refined overview of Majlis General Syed Abdolrahim Mousavi's life and career. Early life and background of Maj. General Abdolrahim Mousavi, full name: Syed Abdolrahim Mousavi, birth, year, 1960, birthplace, Qom, Iran. Qom is a religious and historic city in central Iran, known as a major center of Shia scholarship and theology. Growing up there likely influenced his ideological and religious worldview, education, and early influence. While detailed public records on his early schooling are limited, Mousavi was shaped by the socio-political environment of pre-revolutionary Iran. By the late 1970s, Iran was experiencing growing unrest under the Shah's regime, military entry. Following the 1979 Islamic Revolution, which overthrew the Shah and brought Ayatollah Khomeini to power, Mousavi joined the Islamic Republic of Iran, Army Artesh. He began his military career in his late teens or early 20s, during a time of major institutional restructuring across Iran's armed forces. Formative conflict. Soon after joining the army, Mousavi took part in the Iran-Iraq War, 1980-1988, a brutal 8-year conflict that shaped an entire generation of Iranian military commanders. His early combat experience during this war helped establish his reputation as a disciplined and loyal officer. If you want more on his education or early mentors, let me know. I can try to trace deeper military academy links or ideological training, if available. Military career progression of Major General Abdolrahim Mousavi. Maj. General Abdolrahim Mousavi's military career spans over 4 decades, beginning shortly after the 1979 Islamic Revolution. Here's how he rose through the ranks: 1980s. Iran-Iraq War, 1980 to 1988, joined the Army, Artesh, following the revolution, and fought in the Iran-Iraq War, one of the defining conflicts of modern Iran. Served primarily in ground forces, gaining combat experience and rising through junior officer ranks. His performance during the war earned him recognition within the regular military structure, as opposed to the IRGC, which was also growing in influence. Commander-in-Chief of the Iranian Army, 2017 present. Maji. General Abdolrahim Mousavi was appointed Commander-in-Chief of the Islamic Republic of Iran Army, Artesh, on August 21, 2017, by Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. This marked a significant moment for the traditional Iranian military, as Mousavi took command during a period of regional instability and internal transformation. Position and responsibilities. As Commander-in-Chief of the Artesh, Mousavi is responsible for all branches of the regular Iranian military, including Islamic Republic of Iran, Army Ground Forces, the Iranian Navy Air Force Air Defense Force. Note: the Artesh is separate from the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, which handles external operations and ideological defense. Mousavi leads the conventional forces, focused primarily on territorial defense and deterrence. Appointment and strategic role. Appointed by Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Succeeded General Ayatollah. Salehi Mousavi was chosen for his loyalty, operational experience, and reputation as a stabilizing figure within the Artesh, the conventional military arm of Iran, separate from the IRGC key initiatives and policies. Military modernization oversaw the development of domestically produced drones, missiles, and radar systems, advocated for technological independence, and emphasized the resistance economy in defense, supervised military expos and tech unveilings, showcasing indigenous advancements, military drills and readiness, oversaw frequent large-scale drills across land, sea, and air, emphasized rapid response and hybrid warfare readiness, positioned the Artesh as a credible deterrent force, especially in the Persian Gulf and Strait of Hormuz. Strategic messaging delivered strong public warnings to adversaries, especially Israel, the United States, and Saudi Arabia, reiterated Iran's doctrine of strategic patience mixed with active deterrence, described Iran's armed forces as prepared for any invasion, often aligning with IRGC's narrative during crises. Rhetoric and political stance. Mousavi frequently warns Israel and the United States, aligning his statements with Iran's strategic posture, describes the U.S.-led order as hegemonic, and promotes resistance ideology, has spoken against cyber and psychological warfare, saying Iran is building capacity to withstand hybrid threats. Internal stability and protest response played a visible role during times of unrest, including the 2019-2020 protests, the 2022 Mahsa Amini protests. Though the Artesh is not usually deployed for crowd control, Mousavi emphasized loyalty to the supreme leader and readiness to protect the regime if needed. This led to Western sanctions against him for alleged involvement in protest suppression, sanctions, and human rights. Criticism. Mousavi has been sanctioned by the U.S., EU, and Australia for the Artesh's alleged involvement in suppressing protests, notably during the 2019-2020 fuel protests, the 2022 Mahsa Amini protests. These sanctions restrict his international travel and financial dealings abroad. Legacy in progress. Under Mousavi's leadership, the Artesh has reasserted its role in national defense strategy, strengthened Iran's conventional deterrence, maintained a strong line of loyalty to the supreme leader while emphasizing operational competence. Legacy and influence. Maj. General Mousavi's leadership reflects a revival of the Artesh's relevance, with greater investment in conventional defense, technological innovation, strategic cooperation with the IRGC, despite historical tension. His tenure has helped reshape the image of Iran's regular military, not just as a support force, but as an independent and strategic pillar of the Islamic Republic's defense doctrine. Commander-in-Chief of the Iranian Army, 2017's present, Major General Sayed Abdolrahim Mousavi, has served as the Commander-in-Chief of the Islamic Republic of Iran Army, Artesh, since August 24, 2017, following his appointment by Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. His leadership comes at a time of increasing military tension in the region and a growing emphasis on domestic defense capabilities, role, and structure. As Commander-in-Chief of the Artesh, Mousavi oversees all four major branches of Iran's conventional military ground forces: Niruye Zamini, Navy, Niruye Daryai, Air Force, Niruye Havai, Air Defense Force, Niruye Defa-e Havaye. This position places him at the top of Iran's non-ideological, professional military, distinct from the more politically driven Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Strategic goals and actions. 1. Military modernization, expanded indigenous military capabilities, especially in drones, missile systems, radar, and cyber defense. Supervised the unveiling of strategic drone armies, including hundreds of domestically built UAVs for combat, reconnaissance, and electronic warfare, supported the development of stealth fighters and upgrades to Iran's aging air fleet. Combat readiness. Conducted large-scale joint military exercises. Zolfakar, Ektidar, simulating defensive and retaliatory operations. Stressed readiness for hybrid warfare and asymmetric threats, especially against the U.S. and Israel. Focused on coastal defense, anti-ship operations, and air defense, shielding the homeland. Strategic messaging, issued regular public statements warning Iran's adversaries, notably Israel, the U.S., and some Gulf states. Described Iran's conventional forces as battle-ready and warned that any attack on Iran would be met with destruction from within. Emphasized defense doctrine, not offensive aggression, stating Iran would act only if provoked. Domestic challenges and political role. Role in civil unrest. During mass protests in 2019 and 2022, Mousavi signaled the Artesh's readiness to protect the regime, though they were not the first line of response. The IRGC and police were. His support for the state's hardline stance led to international sanctions from the US, EU, and Australia for alleged involvement in human rights abuses. Leadership style known as a calm, disciplined officer with deep roots in Iran's traditional military, balances professionalism with ideological loyalty to the supreme leader, encourages unity with the IRGC, but seeks to revive the prestige and independence of the Artesh. Current status, as of 2025, Abdolrahim Mousavi remains a central figure in Iran's military doctrine, focused on strategic deterrence, border security. Self-reliant defense manufacturing, honors sanctions. Major General Abdolrahim Mousavi honors and military awards, Order of Fath, First Class 1, of Iran's highest military honors, awarded for extraordinary bravery and leadership in combat. Mousavi received this in recognition of his service during the Iran-Iraq War, 1980-1988. The Order of Fath is typically reserved for senior commanders who have made significant contributions to Iran's defense efforts. Veteran status and service medals. He is recognized as a war veteran with over 4 decades of continuous service in the Iranian army. Artesh has received various Iranian armed forces medals for leadership, training excellence, and loyalty to the Islamic Republic. International sanctions. Maj. General Mousavi has been sanctioned by multiple Western governments for his alleged role in human rights violations and repression of civil dissent. These sanctions are largely symbolic, but reflect international condemnation. United States sanctions sanctioned by the U.S. Department of the Treasury for his involvement in the Iranian military's role during the crackdown on nationwide protests, accused of supporting violent repression of peaceful demonstrators, including youth and women protesting government.